So these are the floors. You see this here is the driver's side. That's that big round thing where the engine goes. And the passenger side, you can see the floor pans come with the lip on both sides. They came in a pair, so that's the way they went. You can see that there's a tag here. That's what that says. Sorry about the shaky camera. And that's upside down. I'll just flip it around there to show you. And I come right back around again. You can see they're cut, okay, I suppose, for the style and the cheapness of it. And you can see the lip there, it comes with the lip, and that's where your lock goes. So you gotta put a screw hole through that, fit those, and that's that lip I was talking about. That channel is just back from the channel, and I'll show you. It's not very thick at all, and I'll show you behind. Same thing. For people that restore cars like me, when you jump to a truck or a van, they're considered a joke, really. It just takes no time to restore these things. Well, you can see driver's side, and there's literally nothing to a passenger side floor. Like, that's about a foot right here. It's not what I'm used to. I'm used to a lot more complicated things than that. So that's the floors are ready to go in. So we got two handles. They're used. I just gotta buff them up and clean them up a little bit, but they're perfect. And I got 4 new door pins. And there's 2 on each door. They also fit the back doors as well. And if you have the side open doors, the swinging doors, they'll also fit. But if you got sliders, that won't work. And we got 2 window winder handles and the 2 door openers. And I have a new ignition. These ignitions are a little different from the column ignitions. That's the dashboard mount. New cigarette lighter. The locks are the ones that actually came out of the van. They've been cleaned, greased, and put back together again. And these things here are for the leather when it goes onto the roof liner, as you see here. And I'm also doing a back roof liner that none of these vans actually came with, but I'm going to kind of do it my own free thing here. And there you go. There's your tip, or exhaust pipe tip. Gotta have one of those. And another original accessory light with the cover. It's nice to have it in that condition as well. They are originals, they're not remakes or anything. They came out of another van. And this here is weather stripping for the 2 front doors. This here is the belt stripping, the window sweeps, all those, everything that's rubbers in this pack here. They're just the 2 moldings that goes around the doors. This rear view mirror came out of a newer style car. It actually has the lights here. In the late 90s, the Chevy vans first came out with these, and you see they come on and off, and so I think I'm going to install these. There's really nothing to them. There's the wiring. There's nothing to it at all. And the speedometer. You can see that originally it was a different color. That was the color there. Really gross looking color. Wasn't going to have that. So the red was something that I put in after. This gauge here was originally white. I just touched it up a little bit more. And these were all one color along with the needle. So I decided that I was going to put a red one here and 2 yellowish color ones here, just for it to stand out a little bit more than the other gauges. Really, when you're driving, really pops your eye to look down there and you can see these gauges. So that's kind of what I got going there. And I also have the glass to go over this too, the plastic coating to go over that as well. And again, there is the alternator and power steering belts, and they're going on there as well. These are the windows that goes in your front doors, window vents, some people call them. And these are the ones that actually came out of the van. These are in really good shape. As you can see, that this is all black going right around here. This is all black. In the 90s and 80s, they came out with the chrome around them, and kind of like the black a little bit more. I do like the little chrome button there. It just, it's not a lot of chrome, it's just a little bit, which is great, which is a big thing now. I don't know if chrome is ever going to make a real comeback of, like the cars in the 70s and the 60s, the Caddies, with all the chrome. I don't think that'll ever make a comeback, but the black is kind of the thing that's in now, basically since the 90s, really. And, they just came out with a little, you can see this button here is much different from the one in the 80s. This one here is much, much different, and there's the little locking channels right there that it goes back on. This is the machine here that makes the window come in and out. You always need to grease these. Don't ever grease them. If you really need to now, but most of the time you don't need to grease these little arms here. They just kind of keep your window into the frame here instead of falling out. This here is what you need to grease inside your door if you take your door panel off. They're very, very stiff. If they're very stiff, stop what you're doing, take the panel off, and grease this here, and then work your way back and forth just a little bit until it's free. That is the case right there. When it gets really, really stiff, there's no grease here, and most of the time no one ever greases them, so it's years and years of just build up of just debris, and it depends on where you're to, a little bit of rust or whatever, but if you put grease on them, they'll never rust. So, this is it here. This is the arm that goes down through the door. You can see it's missing the piece here. I'll show you the piece over here. They're just little tack welded on there. Little rivets on this one. But this one here never had rivets. It was just tack welded on. I do have that piece, so I need to replace it on that arm there. So, if anybody just wondering, you can see the screw goes in there, and there's a screw goes down into the door when you take your rubber molding off your door. There's a little screw up there, and of course that's in your door. That's on your door panel itself. You'll find that screw. And the same goes for this window, of course. This one here I have to replace on mine. The handle's very, very wobbly. It's not actually the handle itself, it's this piece here. Window regulator, I think they call it. Sometimes these round out. You see these little treads here? Sometimes they just get beat up so much that the handle can't hold it anymore. Because it's like a little channel just slides down into these little slots here. But that wasn't the case. Mine was actually in really good shape. It was just the bushing back here. This little piece here was actually gone, and you can see the little stuff in there that holds it in, and that turns it, and this thing here turns. Of course, these go into your door, and that's what makes your window go up and down if you have manual windows. And of course, these are manual as well, as you can tell. You can get electric, but this is the manual. Okay, so turn this around for you. These things are super, super hard to find. You can't even find them on the internet. And if you do find them on the internet now, after this video has been recorded, geez, please send me an email, because these things are impossible to find. But before I go on, the ones that are very easy to find are the square headlight, the big square headlight, then the 85 or 84, I'm not sure when they switched over to the two square headlights on one side. But this one here has the round headlight. These are super, super hard to find, and they were only available in the G10. I don't know why the G20s, G30s had square headlight, and these had the round headlights. I'm not sure. I always like the round headlight in the vans. And then there's your, your marker indicator lights right here. So this came out of an 81. and you can see that there was cracks everywhere. This was very flimsy when I took it out, so I glued this back together again, and there's a little spot right here. I glued it back piece by piece. I didn't just glue a load of things and put it together. Did it piece by piece, and you can see she's missing a straight edge right here. So I need to make sure that I could refabricate this little piece here, and it needs a good sanding. You see paint over the ears, or like a moss or something out from grass. I'm not sure where this van was sitting over the ears, and you can see it's pretty good up here. It's great here. It's just a little chunk taken out right here. You can see it. So what I'm going to do here now is, where this is plastic, now this is pretty solid. I did that with crazy glue. Next I'm going to go with WJ Weld, and I'm going to fill these gaps so you can't see them anymore, and then I'll just sand out the little design that's here. Show you, you can see there. So you could see that nice design that they made. You can see there's another piece up here that I glued, and I'll fill in that little piece there. I love WJ Weld. It's pretty good. It's basically liquid metal, so it's none of this polybond stuff that you can put on it. The heat gets at it, cracks, and falls back off. Maybe in a year, maybe in a week's time, it eventually falls off. It truly do. Or even if you just tap on the thing, sometimes it comes off. And you say, well, I do it and it never falls off, but eventually it will. But WJ Weld is actually literally metal when it dries, so that's the best stuff I find when it comes to this type of thing here to repair. And you can see right here that the bolt literally ripped through the plastic. As you can see the style where the screw is supposed to go into. Hold on, I'll find it here. You can see there it's drilled bigger, and then when it goes down a little bit further into the plastic, it's drilled smaller, so the screw can fit in there nice and snug. Right here it's gone completely through, and you'll never be able to put the original screw back in there because it'll just go through. So WJ weld that completely over. Make sure you know where it is, and just drill a little tiny hole that's a little bit smaller than that there, so your screw fits through and it looks 100% original. Same thing over here. Make sure your WJ weld is getting to a very hard state. Then put it on and just hold it a little bit, or get some paper or cardboard back here, and just make sure that you fill this piece level with that, and then you're off to the races. And then you can paint it to whatever color you want. I'm going back with the original gray, and also because I had no choice to do it this way. If I could find a new one, I would buy it, but literally from this line going down, this whole piece right here is gone on the van, and there's just no fixing that. So this here I can actually fix to somewhat extent, But the truck C10s do not fit the G10 vans. It do not. It looks very similar, but the trucks are about here, and they go straight across right here to the grill. There's not this slant here. That's what is in the vans. The truck, of course, goes across, like I said, but the van's got more of a front to them. They more rises out for some reason. It's the way Chevy wanted to do it. It'd be harder to get parts for, so you go to the dealer at the time. Back in those days, they were at that stuff years ago too. They had to make money. So that's the window basil, or the headlight basil, or some people like to call it the headlight door. The door makes no sense to me, but whatever the case may be, that's if you want to call it that. You can call it that.